week we discuss cookbooks and cooking shows, and we interview artist and bartender Mark DeSalvo.
There are things that used to make me smile. One of them was you for just a little while. You left me for dead so far away. I replaced you with fear and shame. You'll be happy on the day I die. To make me laugh, but now they're deeply buried in the past. I left them there so far away, replaced my humor with my pain. I'll be happy on the day it dies. Remember when I said I love you? Well, yeah, I take it back. I was just a stupid kid back then. I take back every word that I said. There are things that used to make you cry. One of them was me for just a little while. Why is it that you had to say goodbye in your special way? Slash the tires on my car. Remember when I said I love you? Well, forget it, I take it back. I was just a stupid kid back then. I take back every word that I said. Back then, I take back every word that I said.
Welcome in once again to Punk Rock Foodies Radio, coming at you live from downtown Mattersville at the Vicious Pig Saloon. This is your one-stop shop for everything punk rock and food. And now, your hosts, Steve Guerrero, Skate Rat Betty, Brian Reinhardt, and the asshole in charge, Xander T.
Alright, and that was Stupid Kid by Alkaline Trio, and I am the asshole in charge, Xander T.
You're also a stupid kid.
I'm also the stupid kid. I have those lyrics tattooed around the tattoo that I got when I got married, so that's my divorce part of the tattoo.
Right on his penis.
With me at the Vicious Pig in downtown Mattersville today is...
Skate Rat Betty, what's up? Said with confidence.
What up, Steve Guerrero here?
Brian Reinhardt, and I have no idea what we're talking about today, which is awesome.
When do you ever know what we're talking about?
There was one time I knew the spice thing was happening. I got that email.
You got to check the memo board when you walk into the Vicious Pig, dude.
It's about time you guys figured it out. I can't read.
Today's specials.
Okay.
He just sees ABV 7.8%.
I'm like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. When I write words, it's just pictures.
Is that why it's beer, not wine? Because it's under 10% alcohol by volume?
Yep.
You know, wines
That's
are
exactly
like 13.
why. Exactly.
So you are listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio.
Lucky you.
We are based off of the Facebook group, Punk Rock Foodies. 4,100 plus members, growing every day. The simple concept of make food, post a fucking picture.
And don't pimp your
say
shit.
Fuck too.
Oh, you can.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into our little topic here that, again, Brian does not know what we're talking about. So,
Sweet.
Before we do that, we are going to listen to some punk rock music, and we have a request.
Yes. I was talking to my buddy Evil Dan Lorenzo. I grew up with this guy the other day, and he's like, man, I love your show. I'm like, what, you got a request, dude? And he said, hell yeah, Teenage Bottle Rocket. I don't want to go. Thanks for listening, Dan.
I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go to the show that's up the street. There's a chance that she might be there. I don't feel like going home. Do you recall your first bee sting? How you learned to feel pain? Are you now below your appendix? Just a kneecap, broken hat, dressed up in broken English. Poison in a quill, poison in your quill. I've never seen an uniform machine. Love or hate, everything. Somehow you see apathy, yeah, soul. A fool's use no excuse to be an asshole. Speaking English, but I don't understand it. Dancing on breath in their ancestors' gold, sucking out empty spell, malignant revolt. What can I do? My daughter has to live here too. Poison in the well, poison in the well. A piece of life in the outside lands. Some are far away from them, hanging from the grid. Hanging from the grid. Will she recall her first bee sting? How will she speak of me? Growing up surrounded by imbeciles. A fool's use no excuse to be an asshole.
All right, we're back with that was Lagwagon with Poison in the Well off their last album, Hang. I'm Steve Guerrero, and here at the Vicious Pig, and today we're talking about something that every foodie should have, or something that every foodie should kind of pay attention to, and that's cookbooks and TV food shows. So, I know Food Networks has been, it's grown over the last 10 years, 15 years. There's no arguing that. And, it used to be something I think for like older housewives and stuff like that, but those things have long gone. And since changed, there's a lot of good shows on there, a lot of good tips, techniques, and just, overall badass people doing some cool things. Even if we got to watch Guy Fieri for half an hour, he still goes to some really, really cool places. So,
Yeah. And he also is the singer for Smash Mouth, coincidentally.
Oh, yeah. They play live in Flavortown.
Isn't he also one of the Insane Clown Posse guys?
I think so.
Never seen all three of them at once.
We've all seen that meme.
Dude, I'm so bummed that I didn't dress as Guy Fieri for Halloween. I just blew it. I should have thought that one through.
Who was the woman? There was some woman that did. Some supermodel dressed as him.
Yeah. I think Fergie or somebody popular like that dressed up as Guy Fieri. It was just, but anyhow, what are some of your favorite guys' favorite shows to watch to get inspired or to kind of to kill some time?
Well, when I was in college, actually, you know what? I'm not going to go first. Brian, since you didn't know what the topic was, you're first. Go.
Well, last night, and only recently, because, look, I'm not going to act like I've been into cooking shows for a long time, but I absolutely love, and here's one of the main reasons I love it is because half of it is about alcohol. Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. Anthony Bourdain seems like a really cool guy. There's an episode where he's just...
Anthony Bourdain's like the original punk rock foodie.
There's an episode where he's just hanging out with Iggy Pop in, like, Italy in some dive restaurant, eating the most amazing food ever, and just drinking just whatever booze they have, just, like, bring me two of everything. Just... This guy, I'd fuck him. All right, he's a good-looking guy. The women, all the women just seem to love him. I would do Anthony Bourdain. I really love that show, and
Brian would make eye contact.
A lot of his show seems to be about just traveling different places and learning about local culture, drinking all their booze, and then getting the most decadent thing on the menu. And I can appreciate that. I don't think I can always afford it, but I would like to do that.
I can see what you're saying, though, about someone that is that open-minded and willing to experience new things and try anything, how they're just attractive. Like, regardless of what they
They've
look like,
lived this
they're...
crazy life.
Yeah.
You know, and they've made it out the other side, even though he talked about how a lot of his friends, because he has this drug background, a lot of them didn't make it, but he somehow made it. You know, he's like the Keith Richards of chefs.
Yeah, have you guys read his book, the Underbelly Kitchen Confidential?
I've heard that
not
it's
that
crazy.
one. I've read a few of his other ones. He's got a couple, doesn't he?
Yeah, the Kitchen Confidential. I read that one a few years back, and that one is fucking awesome. I've read Keith Richards' autobiography too, and there's some similarities for sure. They both partied hard, but you know, he was a chef. You know, he worked his ass off at Les Halls in New York City, which is still one of the most significant restaurants in America. So you know, he's got this culinary background where he put the time in.
He's got the credibility.
He does. But now he's so cultured, and he's just a down to earth guy. I could see myself seeing him at a bar and be like, "Hey, Mr. Bourdain, want to have a beer?" "Sure, bud. What we're drinking." So, you know, he's a real down to earth, approachable guy, and I dig his style too, man. He's fun to watch.
That's a fun show. I like that show a lot.
I've always liked his No Reservations show.
Yeah, I didn't watch as much of that, but I just think if I probably should give it another chance.
Oh, I mean, that was my first introduction to him, was watching No Reservations, and then that got shit canned, and then he started doing the Parts Unknown thing, which, I mean, it's very similar. Well, he also has the what's the other one? The Layover, where
I haven't even heard of that one.
It's is that on CNN? It's like a weird fucking station.
Dude's just printing money.
It's you have a layover in a city for like, I don't know, like 20-hour layover or something. So you're not going to hang out at the airport, but what can you do in that time in that city? Mm-hmm. And what's really cool about it too is it's not just him because he's been everywhere. It's what the locals have to say. Where you need to go, what you need to do, what you need to eat, drink, and it's mostly all about the eating and the drinking. Mm-hmm. It's not so much about like what to see. Mm-hmm. Where like No Reservations has a lot about like the history of the area, and you actually learn. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, Anthony Bourdain, I think he's great. I even like watching his show, The Taste, for like the game show shit.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that
when
either.
I was in college.
I don't think I watched that.
The show that I always watched was Emerald Live. Emerald Lagasse.
Bam!
Emerald Live. Bam! Yeah, I mean, it was like, that was the show. Like, I don't think it was in college when I finally got the Food Network. Like, we didn't have it growing up in my house and what my parents had for cable.
They had the Food Network 30 years ago? You're how old are you? Xander's in his early 60s, by the way, for all you listeners.
We're not going to my doctorate. It's Dr. Xander T.
Yeah.
No, but realistically, I learned a lot from watching Emerald, and then he also had his regular show that wasn't the live one. And again, that's my own choice. I used to have to watch the shit my mom would make me watch on PBS, the fucking Frugal Boy.
Hey, I love that guy. I was going to pick him as my guy to talk about. I love the Frugal Gourmet. I love Julia Childs, too. Shit. But I grew up, my dad's like super stiff arm, Republican, white class guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, does he know the stories about the Frugal Gourmet?
I don't know. I don't know what stories. What do you mean?
He was a little kitty. He liked the kids. He liked little boys.
No! Don't fucking tell me that.
Forget I said anything. Forget I said anything. Those are just rumors.
And we're banned off YouTube again.
Yeah, damn it.
I'm glad I never went to one of his shows live. Shit. Well, but maybe I'm the wrong gender. So
No, Xander, it's funny that you mentioned the whole Emerald thing, because I used to watch him too, and talking last week about the spices and all that stuff. That's one of the first people that taught me, like, dude, don't be afraid to season something. Like, don't be afraid to put big bold flavors in your food. And I remember when he would cook, and he'd just be like, enough? No, more. And then bam, and it was just like that whole interaction was cool. But
he'd always be like, 40 cloves of garlic. I'm like, absolutely 40 cloves of fucking garlic.
Go crazy, because what's the point? What's the point of having a bottle, like a shaker of a spice in your cupboard for 20 years. Use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Use it,
Yeah, no,
and then buy another one.
It's so great. He's like, and the recipe calls for a quarter cup brandy, but why don't we kick it up a notch and put a full cup in or something, you know? It's so cool how he did it, man. The guy's got style.
I think I still have his holiday cookbook on my shelf that my dad got me in
I've got
college.
it too.
Yeah, yep. When I first started like really fun cooking, I had my parents over and I cooked a goose. And I remember it was the first time I'd ever done anything like crazy in the kitchen. And I put a fucking plastic bag on my hand and I reached in between the goose's skin and the goose and I shoved like slices of ginger and orange slices. And I had seen it on his show.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like it never occurred to me that you could go in between. Yeah, whatever. Boom, bam. Sorry, bam.
Well, here's the question. That begs the question.
We don't money now, Jen.
How moist was it?
And it was too. That would be the perfect word to describe it.
Super moist. Did it sound like?
And the skin got really crispy. It was super good. It was really good.
Hard and moist.
And I think I was so excited that I like told everybody at the table how I did it. I was like, oh, and I put a plastic bag on my hand and I like shoved it all in there. Yeah, great. Thanks.
It's like Emerald and Rachel Ray. Every time I go to Target, they are just trying to sell me. They're trying to sell me cookware. But you know what? Whatever. Anthony Bourdain's trying to sell me fucking slacks and T-shirts. So who am I kidding?
Oh, what's her name?
they're-
Paula Dean. She makes a mean Dutch oven.
Yeah,
But,
she just won't sell it to black people.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but shit, it's $100. How are black people supposed to afford it? No, but
Yeah.
sorry, that was supposed to be a joke on Paula Dean. I don't. Yeah.
I know.
We are edgy on this show.
She
We are an
doesn't
edgy
sell
show.
white sheets, does she?
She's got eye holes cut in all of her sheets.
Is she in the anonymous email
I was
that
just
came
gonna
out?
say, shit. I guess we'll find out in the next leak on the 5th. Damn.
So, Brian, you brought up Rachel Ray, and
Yeah, she's really
I
fat.
honestly, I can't stand that fucking thing.
Her cooking apparently has gotten better because she's gained a lot of weight. Like,
So you can tell by when she's skinny or when she's chubby.
because Adam Richman, you know, we talk about how Adam Richman gained a lot of weight between season 1 and season 2 of Man vs. Food. Rachel Ray, as she's gotten
I
more
guess
and
food
more,
won. Sorry.
Yeah, food definitely won. As soon as her foods must have been gotten a lot better because man, she's throwing it. But whatever, she's healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
You know
hating.
what? I don't care if she could be the fattest fucking person on the face of the earth. The thing that bothers me is, one, she laughs at her own fucking jokes, and they're not that funny. Two, she always says EVOO, a little extra virgin olive oil. Well, if you're going to fucking abbreviate it, why do you tell me what the abbreviation was in the first place?
EVOO.
You have negated. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a Parmigiano Reggiano. If I could fucking reach through the TV screen and strangle her every time she says Parmigiano Reggiano, I want to. Ugh, she just irritates the fuck out of me.
I never
And
watched
can't
her just because of her
imagine there's a
voice.
dude-
Like, to me, she's like the Fran Drescher
Yes.
of cooking shows. But
I can't imagine there's some dude that wants to fuck her.
there it is. And it has nothing to do with her weight. It's her voice. I can't listen to her. I can't do it.
Look. She's got a lot of money. I'll do it. She's got a lot of money. I'll handle that.
Before or after Anthony Bourdain?
Same time. I'm a busy man.
Rachel Ray gets sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
But are there any cooking shows, like, aside from her, I also can't stand the Pioneer Wife.
Never heard of it.
She's don't you want to, like, seriously, Skate Rat, you would, like, shoot your TV if you ever watch this bitch. Like, she's, like, so, like, prim and proper, and I've got to do good for my man and my family. And she makes these amazing meals. It's like, don't act like every woman can fucking do this because you're on a TV show. Like,
Well, and even like I love Martha Stewart, but like when she's like, "Oh, you just whip up," no. I don't have a $300 Cricut paper cutter. I mean, I want one. Don't get me wrong; it's on my list. But no, I don't have a Cricut paper cutter. Like the things that Martha Stewart does are because she has literally a studio at like, and what I call my studio is laughable to
It's not like you're taping a show on Tuesday and be like, oh yeah, hey Michael, do you think you can give me all this stuff on my list so you have everything prepared for me?
20 of my staff worked till 2 a.m. last night, and we cut out these adorable little acorn place cards. You can do it in 15 minutes. And
it's funny that you mentioned Michael, because he's walking around the biggest vicious pig right now in his tighty whities.
Yeah.
Somebody get that man another drink. Somebody put some pants on that kid.
Is there any annoying fucking...
Yeah, I think the show's canceled now because they got a divorce, but there was a show with this couple, this black couple. There was like the name, like Down Home, or like there was the Joneses. I forget what it was called.
Yes.
But they were like making out like on the show, and
Really?
like they're like really like lovey-dovey, and it got a little bit weird, and it was a little uncomfortable because like half the episodes were like, we're gonna make fried chicken again. Like it was like racist, like black people being racist, like. You know, like after a while, it's like, okay, I get it. But then I guess they got a divorce because one of them was up to some chicanery. But that show made me uncomfortable just because they were like, as they're cooking, they're like grabbing each other's butts and like talking like in a weird way, like, oh, hey, later on, I'll give you this sausage.
But see, I do that, but I don't film it.
That was a little
I mean, Mike offers.
I don't remember the name of the show. Do you guys know what the name of that show was? I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, wasn't it that
the Neelys, down home with the Neelys.
That's what it was. Yeah. I mean, the stuff they made was amazing, but after a while, it's like, okay, I get it. You're tonguing each other's buttholes on TV. Okay, you love each other. I got it.
There's a show that's like that would come before that I would watch, and it was with this chick named Sunny. She was Cooking for Real. That's a show, and she's an African American gal, and she's probably like in her 30s, but she makes the most radical meals because like she don't give a fuck about being healthy. It's just about making good food, and it's always like an appetizer, a main course, and like a drink. So you're like at 9:30 in the morning, like, damn, I'm fired up, man. This is like. She's making Mexican food better than I can. It's got this like sangria to go with it. Oh man, that sounds good. Yeah, she has that big old like personality, which is always just smiling. You know, like some people they just can't help but not smile in the kitchen. You're just like, man, that's cool. You know, you're just having so much fun making food. And I don't know. I dig her energy.
Making food should be fun. It should be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I think when you mentioned annoying ones, can I mention like a digital? Yeah. So BuzzFeed videos, I really don't like BuzzFeed videos. I don't like subscribe to them. I don't watch them. I don't like top trendiest things that make you super fat that are like really bad for you. I don't. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. But honestly, I like anything. I feel like that I have to melt a stick of butter in. I'm probably out. I've never watched Paula Deen. You know, it was the butter really before the racism that I knew about. So
yeah, she was known for butter.
I was just like, well, I don't cook with that much butter. Wow, or that much hatred.
Can I change one of my previous answers? I said that earlier I wanted to have a threesome with Anthony Bourdain and Rachel Ray. Can I swap out Rachel Ray for Giada?
Giada! I was going to say, what the fuck?
I was hoping you were going to say Paula Deen, man.
Oh, no. There's not enough alcohol in the world. No, Giada, that's my girl. And she's
Giada's definitely hotter than Rachel Ray.
Oh, my goodness. And people are like, oh, she's got a big head. I don't care. Oh, she's so hot. She's so hot.
She's kind of annoying. Like, I used to watch her when I'd go to the gym and run on the treadmill, and it'd be on the TV. So I wouldn't hear her. And I really enjoyed that.
Well, the stuff that she makes is amazing, and looks like she knows make all kinds of cool stuff. But she's and she knows what she's doing. She knows just how much cleavage to show. Look, she's no dummy. She knows. Hey, I'm on TV, and she's a good ass cook. But oh man, she anyway, I should stop talking.
All right, let's go around the table. I'll say a chef, and you tell me whether you think they're annoying or they're all right or whatever. Okay.
Okay. We'll go in order of how we introduce ourselves.
So no order whatsoever. Awkward.
All right. First one, right? So skate right, you're first. Ready? Bobby Flay.
I think he's a little annoying. I love to grill. I think he's annoying.
Steve?
This is going to make me sound lame, but I would have a fat head of Bobby Flay in my house if I could. That guy, that was the very first cookbook I got. I went to his restaurant in Mesa, one of the top meals I've ever had in my life. I got nothing but love for Bobby.
Brian?
I am indifferent to Bobby Flay. I see him in commercials, and I guess he does these throwdown shows, but I don't know much about him.
So you are not attracted to him?
I can't think of his face right
This is
now.
what
So
we need to know.
I don't know. I don't have any
Can't rule it
problem.
out.
Yeah, I won't rule it out. I won't
Google when he stands up on the cutting board. I'm pretty sure they show his butt.
I think he's an arrogant asshole, and I get it. Like a lot of chefs are arrogant.
they all are.
Especially when they're at that level and they just feel like they're the best.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Nobody likes a dick.
But that persona comes off in his cooking shows. Even when he's not talking to anybody, he's talking to the fucking camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's treating us as like idiots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him like twice, and I was like, wow, great recipes. Wow, what a dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, next one. Ready? The guy who does, I don't know his name, but he's the host of the show Good Eats, and it's also he's also the host of what is it? Alton Brown. Yeah, Alton Brown. He also hosts Cutthroat Kitchen. Glasses. He's got a lot of knowledge about food. Skate Red. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know if I know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's really knowledgeable, and I think he's a safe, kind of host. But once he's doing the Cutthroat Kitchen, he's trying to be like all funny. I don't get it. Yeah.
I only know him from Cutthroat Kitchen, the couple episodes that I know, so I don't know how good of a cook he is, but I know that personality-wise, I hate him on a personal level. Like I want physical harm. I want physical harm to come to him.
All right, you guys. Okay, Gordon Ramsay.
I love him. I do. I've seen pictures and heard him talk about his family and stuff, to the fact that I don't think in person he really is a dick when he doesn't have to be and he's not being filmed. So
Playing a character.
I do like him. I think his arrogance for him is a marketing point, and
Well, I don't think he's arrogant as much as he's just trying to like better everybody, and it pisses him off when people are stupid.
Oh, yeah, and I feel that, dude. I do. So like
where Bobby Flay just treats you like you're stupid.
Yeah. He just kind of talks down to you, and whereas Chef Ramsay is like, man, really? Do I have to tell you 10 times how to make fucking risotto? It's like a grain and water or whatever. Yeah, fucking Jesus.
So, Steve, your take on Gordon Ramsay?
Okay, I think he's great, but I think whoever does the casting for his shows, Hell's Kitchen, is the man, because I don't know how you get 18 inept people like that want to just get B-rated. Those guys are the most annoying people on TV. They're fucking idiots. I'm like,
they deserve it.
How can you not figure out how to cook chicken on the third or fourth fucking time? Like,
right, yeah. This is a timing thing.
You deserve to get chewed out. I mean, and it's great because it just lets Gordon shine as the biggest asshole. It just sets the stage for him to just pummel people verbally. It's great.
Yeah, and if you're too nervous to cook a chicken breast the right way 3 times in a row on live television while some guy screams at you, maybe don't go on a show called Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay.
Yep.
Yeah. Gordon?
Well, I'm gonna show the 4 of our collective ages right now with this reference, but I see him as the Morton Downey Jr. of cooking shows hosts, where just anybody who comes on the show is going to get yelled at.
Yes.
And that's just, you are there to get screamed at by the host. And that's what and he's good at it, and he's
right. He's doing the right thing. Like, he's trying to actually better the people. I don't know, maybe it's his style. Like, that's how I feel like when I'm teaching kids. Like,
can I just say that both listeners who got that reference thought that was really funny. So,
but it's
fist
true.
bump, blow it up.
I just
Google it,
the
youngsters.
Big Mouth logo.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Google Morton Downey Jr., not Robert Downey Jr.
No.
Morton Downey Jr.
I used to think they were related, actually.
So did I. I thought they were the same guy for a while.
What if I give you guys a name and you guys tell me? All right. He has a show. His name is Rick Bayless. Mexico, one plate at a time. Based out of Chicago. This guy, he's the brother of the most annoying ESPN personality, Skip Bayless.
No way.
That's his brother, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, it sucks. But Rick Bayless, he's got restaurants in Chicago, restaurants in Mexico, and I think he's pretty good. He's a little boring. Like, I could do with not hearing him talk, but he makes some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he can cook Mexican food. It's amazing to hear his backstory. He went to Mexico to study geology and was in these little Pueblo towns and just started eating all the local food and just fell in love with it. And that was that, But he's such a great culinary mind. But the way he talks is just so soft, and it's just you put the chilies in here, and it's just so.
I hate that.
And and I'll also say that any jerk who has you have a gray beard and your hair doesn't have your top of your head doesn't have a single gray hair. What are you doing? You're coloring something. You know what I mean? Like your facial hair should somewhat match your head.
Right. And as yours does.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Well, wait, I have one.
Go ahead.
Just
Go ahead.
one last one, so I have
Nope,
one.
too
you
late.
guys.
Sorry, Jen.
So,
Nope.
back when I think when I was in college, he had a show called East Meets West. His name is Bing Tsai.
Yeah.
He still
that's
has a
familiar.
He still has a restaurant and stuff now. I think it's called Blue Ginger.
I don't know the name of his restaurant. I've seen a lot of his recipes. I've read a lot of his recipes. He makes some hell of great food.
I have
know
made
what you're talking
so
about.
many of his recipes. Yeah, from like in college, I think I lived on like stir fry pretty much. The only like 10 spices I had were some sort of Asian spices. Yeah.
Dude, I wonder if those sticky wings came from him.
Oh.
Or at least like a version. I bet you they did. I'm going to have to look that up.
I have a couple of his cookbooks
To the internet.
too. Man, I even watched once he showed us how to make tofu. I've never actually made it because who the fuck needs to make tofu? But
Is it really made out of toes? That's just what I hear.
Kip Cabin, foodie, a punk rock foodie, recently just posted. He's over. He's in the military, and he was over in Asia, and he took a lesson on how to make tofu.
yeah, I saw, that's what made me think of it. I saw his post. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I got one more for you guys, and then we'll head off to some music.
Finally.
Tyler Florence.
Tyler Perry? He's the one that makes those movies?
Tyler Florence. He does the TV show. He does. What is it like? Tyler's Ultimate is the name of the show, and it's where he takes like your basic recipes, but he does like his own ultimate version of it.
I am unfamiliar with his work.
No, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's a good chef, and he's really into like healthy eating and stuff. So for that, I dig what he's trying to bring to the table. He's really trying to make things people aware of like what they're putting in their food, and just trying to fight the good fight basically. So.
I like him.
He's a good guy, What can I say?
Yeah, I like him. I like the way he treats the viewer, as opposed to Bobby Flay. And he does cook some really good shit.
But see, I think that's why.
I heard recently that Bobby Flay had a divorce and lost like $200 million. I forgot to say that earlier. I heard he just got housed in a divorce.
Probably. It's kind of.
I had to throw that in there.
We'll see when he comes out with a bunch of shows in the spring. So
Yeah. He's got a show called Alimony.
where you watch and I make money.
You mean
sorry,
you
Jen, I
watch and his
interrupted you. Go
ex-wife makes money?
it's actually with Rachel Ray. It's EVOO in alimony. So it's going to be a good one.
EVO alimony.
See, and I'll type that, but I don't say it in the kitchen. I just say
That's
olive
like an
oil.
asshole. That's like when somebody says BBQ sauce. Like, it's the same amount of syllables.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
don't.
saving time.
Yeah, that's a typing, not a saying. Let's go get some BBQ, y'all. Really? No, I don't think I'd go.
You're not saving time. It's syllabically, it's the same.
And I've got a buddy who says TGI, it's Friday. He says that. It's like, dude, you're wasting all of our lives by saying that every week. It's like, dude, TGI, it's Friday. What are you talking about? Is English your first language? You're from Chicago. You should know.
Holy
Anyway.
crap, I love the hashtag TGIM. I have never once out loud, to another person, TGIM.
Great no effects song.
There's a place I grew up on in Redondo Beach that had Mexican food. Their name was El Burrito Jr. And to shorten it up, people would call it ELBJ. But if it's really spelled out, it's EBJ. And that would drive me fucking crazy, dude. It's not LBJ. It's EBJ or El Burrito Jr. It's not LBJ.
When people, this is not food related, but when people tell me they're going to the ATM machine, I always say, You mean the automatic teller machine?
The VCR recorder.
We're getting into some deep episodes, or some deep things this week.
I do have to admit, Mike pointed out the other day that when I had talked to somebody that had been on the show, that every time I say your name out loud, that I say ZT. instead of XT. And he called me out. Like, we were in public somewhere, and he was like, oh, have you noticed that every time you say it, you say ZT? And I was like, so? And he was like, it's XT. And I was like, yeah, but when you say X's out loud, they sound like Z's. And he was like, what? Are you sure? I was like, oh, yeah, that's totally. No.
Well, you just made it the bottom line. All right, let's listen to some music. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about cookbooks. Since we've been discussing all these chefs and their fucking cookbooks, we're going to discuss cookbooks when we come back from some music. So, Steve.
All right. I'm playing some Good Riddance. I'm not sure what song, but I've been listening to Good Riddance all week last week while I was working. So here's some Good Riddance on Punk Rock Foodie Radio. Woo!
that was the. Sorry.
Make sure we leave that in.
Shit. I forgot about that. Damn. Well, fuck it. That was Screeching Weasel with the cool kids. Let's go to Brian and talk about your favorite cookbook, Brian. I bet you have 30 of them on your shelf.
We're talking about cookbooks, and cookbooks. You can usually find those in bookstores, in your local mall.
That's where Sheena picked you up, right? In the cookbook section of the bookstore.
I will say, I don't know much about cookbooks, but I will say that I used to work kind of like a side, I used to work a side gig at Goodwill, and I was bringing in all the donations, and it was mostly books, and we would get cookbooks from like the early '80s, late '70s, when like microwaves first came on the scene, and there were huge volumes of microwave cookbooks on like how to make like Thanksgiving dinner, like a 20-pound turkey in the microwave. And I'm going through this like I guess if you look back on that time, like, ooh, microwaves, we can do everything now real quick, but they made it look like it was so easy. Like, oh yeah, you can make a huge turkey in the microwave. Man.
But why would you want to, though?
Well, back then, you're like, oh, I'm so busy. I've got my pager.
Well, and not to mention, if you're the only one on the block that has a microwave, then you're like, your friends come over. Oh, I cooked all of this in the microwave oven.
And microwaves back then were so low tech. Like when you turned them on, you had to put on your sunglasses and go outside. Like they were dangerous as shit. You know.
Well, but the idea then is that you could brag that you did it in the microwave, and everybody would be like, "Oh my god, they did it in the microwave! Oh my god, that's amazing!" But yet they didn't get to eat it, so they don't realize how shitty it actually was.
It's like, man, you made this huge turkey and it's raw in the middle. How did you pull it off? It's amazing. So good.
But it's funny that you say that because my mom's got a cookbook collection that like rivals most libraries, like in general, and she's recently started going through them and giving me the ones that she doesn't want anymore. Like there's a cookbook that she had 2 recipes from, and so she copied them and she wants to give me the books. I'm like, Mom, do you understand what the internet is? Like, I don't need cookbooks anymore. Like realistically, and then she's also going through my grandma's house and going through all her shit. She's like, "Oh, I got some cookbooks for you." Like seriously, I don't like. I've got a few cookbooks that I really like, and I only like them for a couple of recipes. I seriously could just make the photocopies and get rid of them. And then I love my Bon Appetit magazines. I like looking through them, picking out some recipes. But then again, I can go online and get those same recipes.
I do have a stockpile of cooking magazines. But
I have a stockpile of magazines, but they're not cookbooks.
Well, unlike you, I do enjoy the articles of Bon Appetit.
I just look at the pictures, man.
But see, I think that's the problem. I think cookbooks need pictures. They need to have a picture of what it's supposed to look like.
I do like it when and I like to read them. I don't always use cookbooks when I'm cooking, but I read them. And when I'm like pleasure reading through them, I think it's nice because I find them like orderly. They have all these like, recipes or
but it fulfills your OCD.
Yeah, exactly. But I also like the fact that it gives me ideas.
You don't have to go punch a light somewhere.
It gives me ideas. I don't have to, I don't use every recipe as a full recipe, but I like the fact that if I want to make this recipe and change the sauce or whatever, at least I know what temperature and how long to cook, this size of a chicken or...
Right.
I like the guidelines. So sometimes I'm like, oh, this is great, but I fucking hate mushrooms. So let's make this with, ginger or, cilantro.
Pick and choose.
Yeah.
I still think pictures are the key. You need a picture.
It's like when you construct a Lego set, you need the finished product picture so I know what I'm shooting for, baby.
Yeah. I won't make a recipe if I don't see the picture.
A lot of my 70s and 80s cookbooks they're like dictionaries almost. A picture every 20, 30 pages.
The picture, the 70s cookbooks are much like modern cookbooks, but hairier.
Well, and I do feel like you can't mention cookbooks without mentioning Pinterest. I mean, I think my husband has a Pinterest. So half the time when I'm like, I need it right now and I need 10 options, I don't Google it because I don't have time to go to that second and third page. Nobody has that time. So
Yeah,
you guys
Sheena
can-
goes to Pinterest a lot. Sheena will go to Pinterest for some recipes. That's quick and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my book, and I talked about it last week, the Weber, it's called The Weber Way to Grill, Step-by-Step Guide to Expert Cooking, or Expert Grilling. And the reason this book is awesome, because it breaks down, like, poultry, red meat, fish, blah, blah, blah. But before each chapter, it kind of, like the first beginning is all just talk about barbecue. Barbecue parts, ways to heat, indirect versus direct, the circle, fire, like all these just different methods of using charcoal to grill. And then once you start getting into it, you can start seeing, like, okay, how do I butcher some of these cuts of meat to kind of make it work? How do I use butcher twine to string up some things so that it cooks inside, like chicken or something like that? But I've had it for probably like 7 years or so, and man, that really kind of gave me the knowledge, like, on the grill. And there's a lot of trial and error, but I've read that book, front to back, a bunch of times, and it really kind of helps you just kind of figure out the little things along the way so you don't make those mistakes, and then you just start making these rad dishes, and you're just like, well, fuck, I made that a couple times now. I don't even need the recipe. Now let's see what I can kind of really go off and create myself.
Yeah.
So it's given me a ton of confidence, and it's just, it's got a ton of pictures. It's got great recipes, great rundowns. I can't recommend it enough, and I'm not even getting paid by Weber, so.
That's like the perfect way to make a cookbook. It's about teaching people. It's not about, here's a bunch of recipes. It's teaching people how to cook.
Yeah.
And then the techniques and shit like that. And then, and
So they can pass it along to the next person.
Exactly. My mom used to get a magazine, Taste of Home. And every year, the end of the year, Taste of Home would put together a cookbook with all the recipes from the magazine. And I used to get the cookbook for Christmas every year from my mom. And I lost those in the divorce, which, fine, I've got Google. But the
have the internet now on computers.
Taste of Home had a section that was cooking tips.
Yeah.
I don't know where they found these retards to give these cooking tips, or who they hired as editors to accept this as a quality cooking tip. But like some of them, honestly, they were the stupidest fucking things. Like, if I'm serving ice cream as a dessert, I'll pull it out of the freezer about 10 minutes before dessert is served so it'll be softer and easier to scoop. Really?
I just run the spoon under hot water. Shit. I'm not patient, and I don't think ahead. Sorry.
To keep my leftovers fresh, I use Tupperware containers. Like, what the fuck?
I recently procured a refrigerator, and it keeps my food cold.
If you keep frozen things in the freezer, they stay good longer.
When my mom would get this magazine, she would read it, and then she'd put it in the bathroom with all the magazines. And then she would tell me, she'd say, I got the new cooking, Taste of Home. Try to find the dumbest cooking tips. And it was like it compares, like, which one did we think was the dumbest one? And it was a fun little game. They were so stupid. All these fucking people.
We should do a stupid cooking tips week on Punk Rock Foodies. Who can come up with the stupidest thing? I'll bet you I'd win.
I was over at my sister's house the other day, and I love her dearly, but she does not cook. She doesn't enjoy it. She never has. My dad has always tried to get us involved. She has never really had interest in even boiling water. But I was over there. She was having a yard sale, and I was pricing her cookbooks for her, which is funny because I guess people give them to her because she doesn't know how to cook, so they think.
So she's got stacks.
Yeah, but so she was getting rid of them, and one of them was like how to cook. Anybody can cook anything. And I was like, really? Are you sure you want to get rid of this one of all the French cuisine 10-step cookbooks? Like, maybe this one you should keep? Like mac
Just
and
keep
cheese,
one.
not so hard. But I do think sometimes there is like silly, pointless shit. But then the other day I bought a dragon fruit, and I'm like, all right, this should be pretty self-explanatory how to cut it and eat it. But I have the Google, so yeah. I went on Pinterest and real quick, like, not only did I pull up a few recipes just to see what sort of flavors go with it, because it's one thing when they say it tastes like a kiwi and a pear, but until you taste it, I mean, yeah, tastes like chicken is such a broad,
Right.
I can't say I've ever had dragon fruit.
Does
Does it taste like dragons?
maybe.
The homosexual dragon.
Really taste the dragon.
It was really fruity, so yeah, maybe the rainbow dragons, yeah.
You know what? I think the day of the cookbook is gone thanks to the internet. I mean, like allrecipes.com. Guess what they have on there?
Yeah.
All recipes. I mean, it's.
Mine are now mostly sentimental, and probably half of them because every year for Christmas my dad gets me one and he writes in it, and so
I hate
that's
that.
pretty cool.
Oh, but no, my dad
of
picks good ones though. My dad does. Like when I got sober, the first year after I got sober, my dad got me the sober cookbook.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad makes good book choices. Unfortunately, he doesn't buy them anymore. But that was one thing I always looked forward to was Christmas
That's a
books.
cool thing.
Yeah.
I will say the one cookbook that I think is a key, and I've got it, and I would never get rid of it. I believe it's Betty Crocker, it's just a basic home cookbook.
Yeah.
And it's got everything in it. I've actually purchased it for people that like recent newlyweds that buy a home, like young couples. It's a perfect. It's got anything you want. The hollandaise sauce, French bread. A salad dressing. It's got it's got the simple basic shit that everybody kind of eats all the time. And so it's a pretty good cookbook for somebody who doesn't cook, but, wants to try to cook.
That's a good thing for a young couple. That, a wedding gift, just get them a basic Betty Crocker and the Kama Sutra. And they're good. Their wedding, their marriage will be good after that.
Cooking and fucking, that's all that matters, right?
Well, and YouTube actually is pretty helpful if you need tutorials. I mean, I wouldn't watch them for sex tutorials, but definitely for cooking. If you ever have a question about when you're reading a recipe and you have a technique you see that you don't know and maybe the definition doesn't really do it for you, YouTube will actually show you people doing whatever it is you want to do. And most cookbooks I found do have not only a glossary at the front, but hey, here's some tools that are useful in your kitchen and exactly what they do. So yeah, you have the chef's knife and you're using it for paring, and that's why you keep cutting off half your finger. So there are little tips in there that are good tips that aren't usually I put my food in Tupperware to refrigerate it. So
shout out to
I
Sheena, who cut off her finger this week.
Yeah. Well, and there are some things in there when I first started cooking with Asian dishes, it was really helpful. When I would go into the store, I don't read Japanese. I don't read Chinese. I barely read English.
Really?
Yeah. So, no, I read English really well, but still, So it was helpful to at least go in there, and when I would ask the lady, what things were, if it had a picture, I could go by the picture. It would be helpful to have through the cookbooks to at least have it tell me, this is what these things are and what they do and what they taste like and what you use them for or how to prep them.
And it'll say, just how much cat should you add to this recipe. And Brian says the most racist thing of the week. Hey!
Thank God I'm off the fire.
You can always count on me to be a total racist.
Well, I saw that meme today. We don't see your cat, but our trial chicken is perfect.
I saw that, like the marquee.
Good old-fashioned family racism.
We got some good racism here in the Midwest, let me tell you.
Delicious.
Have you been to Florida?
Yeah, that's true. Florida, man. Not racist. That's a headline.
Where people with no teeth can make fun of other people.
Oh, I live in Indiana. Let me tell you about some no teeth.
God, I forget. I have driven through Indiana and gone.
I recently moved from the Chicago area to Indiana, just over the border, and I recently realized that Indiana is the birthplace of the KKK, so it's a little weird down here.
All right, well, let's go off, and Skate Rat's going to set us off with a tune here. And then when we come back, I'm going to get Mark DeSalvo on the line. He's a bartender to the stars, basically, out in L.A., I guess he's now in San Diego, though. And he's an artist, and you do know his work. And you will find out when we talk about what he's done in the upcoming interview. So, Skate Rat, play us a tune, so I'll call Mark.
Well, how about from one artist to another? How about Guttermurra? She's got the look. I think I smeared that. That was like Guttermurra
Gertimer here.
Gertimer.
She likes to read, I like TV. She's checking out my good friend Steve. She likes a beer, I like a shot. Her parents think I'm selling pot. She likes the boys in the band. She won't relate to the strand. When I mention my bum, then she complains. The message of my life washed down the. I like to drive, she likes to walk. She caught me jacket in my sock. I like to drink, she likes to dance. I'm drunk again, I'm come my pants. She likes the boys in the band. I think this her, she likes the sand. When I come home late, she's got that look. I'm not talking about that Jordan look. But you are doing, just for you are doing. I would walk my car, get a job, a little bit from my shoes, but you won't do it. For you, for you, for you, for you. I guess our eyes will never meet. Mom, please put down the toilet seat. She likes to kiss. I'd rather fuck. And all her friends, they got me smuck, a smuck, a smuck. She did the boys in the band. I guess I'll be a single man. I used to watch her sleep and she complained. The meshes of my life washed down the drain. Oh, wash my car, get a job, a real formations, recycle all my beacons like I promised I would do. I will cancel my subscription to Justin Bieber Hunt. Just for you, I'll do it. Oh, wash my car, get a job, a real formations, recycle all my beacons like I promised I would do. I will cancel my subscription to Justin Bieber Hunt. Just for you, I'll do it. For you, for you. For you, for you. For you, for you. For you, for you.
Hey, this is Brandon from Teenage Bottle Rocket, and you're listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio.
I'm sober like a Sunday morning mass. Liars are lying to themselves. I'm lost or I'm losing everything. I'm wasted. I can't keep the night from falling down. To recreate the scene. Or reinvent the meanings. 'Cause all that shit, it means nothing. You just take it as it comes and let it all fade away. And all those times you felt something, but your heart was on the run. So it goes, so it goes. I'm lonely like a lazy weekend. My feet never touch the ground. I'm drunk or I'm drinking everything. My
right, that was Lose Your Illusion 1 by the Lawrence Arms, and you are listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio, coming at you from the Vicious Pig Saloon in downtown Mattersville. On the phone with me now is artist, restaurant guy, if you will, Mark DeSalvo. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Andrew. How are you doing today?
I'm good. We're all good here. So, for those of you who don't know, you don't know Mark, but you know Mark. Tell us about some of the artwork that you've done with the punk bands.
Well, over the years, I guess most notably would be NoFX's Heavy Petting Zoo, or even more notably, the vinyl version Eating Lamb. Just goes along with the theme of this show.
Absolutely.
That's, meeting Fat Mike back in 1995. Right after I was getting out of art school is really what helped me kick off all of that stuff. From there I went on to do countless other fat bands, bunch of Lagwagon, bunch of, Mad Caddies, Limp, some of the bands around on stuff like that, and as well as some other Epitaph stuff, just continuing on in that scene. Basically, it's, kind of fun group of people that I got to meet.
That's so cool. I think I saw you did the Surfer album cover.
Yeah, that was actually, I guess Tony Pye came up with the idea and sent Mike ran with it. and it's a classic rip-off of Surfer. I call it a homage, but,
They say, what is it, parody is the best flattery or something like that?
Exactly. There's a lot of competition between punk rockers. You wouldn't really notice it because they're all friends, but they definitely like to, take shots at each other, mostly in jest, but sometimes it does get, kind of, it's just fun.
Yeah, I do have the Bad Religion, So Long and Thanks for Nothing t-shirt, so that's there.
Exactly. They go at each other.
I was curious about that cover. The original artwork from Suffer, somebody else did that, and so you just went with it, and nothing was ever said. I mean, not that anybody would come out and sue you or sue NoFX for it. Obviously, Bad Religion and them are tight, but you don't know who did it. You never met them or anything like that, huh?
I actually should probably take a look at the liner notes on Suffer and check that out. To me, it's one of the most iconic punk rock albums there is.
Yeah, totally.
So it's easy to do a parody of. It's harder to do a parody off of an album that no one's ever seen. And no one's going to get the joke. So, I'm not even sure who did that cover.
To the internet we go.
I was just given, said, hey, put him on a beach. I was like, okay, cool. I think the only idea that I threw into it was, to try to get some of that sort of same depth that the straight lines of the houses and stuff. I threw in a little beach tower there just to try to emulate a little bit of that.
Right.
Because with the sidewalk lines and all that, you don't have that on a beach.
Right, the perception, yeah. It's a
it was a fun project. It's always, anytime you're doing anything with Fat Mike, it's fun, The Heavy Petting Zoo album, he actually sat down on the floor and pretended he was holding a sheep.
I guess I should thank you because I actually have that image tattooed on my arm.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Oh, I'll send you a picture after the interview. The artist did a great job with it, so I think you'd appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's again, I didn't really realize it, but that album's kind of becoming a legendary, iconic punk album. Now that it's 20 years old, I think.
And I believe the vinyl
is
is banned in Germany, I believe.
That's always good. Yeah, when that album first came out, there were a lot of magazines that did reviews on it and just blurred the whole album cover. It's nice to be banned.
So I mentioned that you're like a restaurant guy. You've worked a bartender and worked in many restaurants. I don't know how long. Like, how long have you been in the restaurant business?
Well, it's always been more on the bar side, and I guess I started back when I turned 21, bar backing in a brew pub in San Francisco, and started bartending there, and was there for quite a while, all the way through art school. In fact, actually, one of my buddies at Sat Records at the time, he needed some spare change. He was interning at Sat, and I got him a job at that brew pub as well. That's Tom Ward, if you're out there. Hey, buddy. Started there. The food we had was good. The beers were great. The craft beer scene in San Francisco has always been big.
Yep.
And when I moved down to LA, I was actually just in a bar, but I love bartending, and that's what I mainly do. The managing jobs that I've had in restaurants have all stemmed from being the, I guess, most responsible person at the place.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, exactly. The next thing you know, you're making less money but working more hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's never a fun thing, but I have got to work in some fun restaurants with some, great cooks. I like cooking a lot. My wife is an amazing cook as well. And so yeah, that's kind of neat. I've just moved down to San Diego, and I'll start working at a new, what's his name, Richard Blaze, what do you call those, game show chef winner? What was he on?
Too many of those game shows to figure it out. Is it Chopped or?
It was like
Master Chef?
Iron Chef.
Iron Chef?
Not Iron Chef, not Iron Chef. The one on Bravo.
Top Chef.
Top Chef, yeah. I guess he got second place on his season, but then came back and ended up winning like Top Chef Champions or whatever.
Okay.
Something like that. But he's got a couple good restaurants down here in San Diego, and one new one that's just about to open. But I will start training with their bar manager on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome. I always love the bartending jobs that I've had. My brother actually was in a similar situation where he was the most responsible at the restaurant he was working at, and he actually turned down the manager job because he knew he'd made more money serving. So.
Yeah. But, that's exactly what happens. It's more hours, less money, and more headache. Next thing you know, you're there at 7 in the morning to let the janitor in, or the plumber in to fix the plumbing from the night before. And they don't pay you extra for that stuff.
Nope. Salary position.
Food-wise, I'm a bartender, and I definitely like incorporating all sorts of fresh produce and whatnot into cocktails. But that's just something that usually when you have a restaurant attached to the bar, you have cilantro, you have jalapenos, and the next thing you know, you have a super awesome spicy margarita.
Yes.
So, that's how it works.
Yeah. experimenting with all those ingredients that are there. That's one thing I always love doing, especially on a slow night in the bar, and just having some fun.
Yeah.
I invented a great drink with bacon one time because of that, and I have it every New Year's.
That's always something I would like to put in Bloody Marys, for sure.
I've done a braided bacon that I baked and brushed with honey sriracha and stuck that in the Bloody Mary. Now that it tastes like after you eat it's like barbecue sauce because the tomato juice and the spiciness of the sriracha, and yes, that's very good.
No, I can imagine. It sounds quite tasty. I might have to experiment with that one myself.
Yeah. So some of these restaurants that you've worked in and bars that you've worked in, what are some any like meals that stand out in any of them? I know that mostly in the Los Angeles area is where you've done a lot of your work, but
Chef Michael Reese, who is the executive chef at True and Proper, the last place I was at, his shrimp beignets were just insane. And it was a New Orleans themed restaurant, and beignets is a classic New Orleans dessert. But he, twisted that up, threw in a bunch of shrimp, made it more of a savory thing, and it was definitely the best selling thing on the menu. But everything on that menu is amazing. So
I think New Orleans food is one of the best foods that this country has.
I definitely can agree with that. It's, I guess I would think of it as like the first fusion food, because you've got all those sort of Caribbean,
the French and the
things brought in with French. Exactly, it's all
absolutely.
It's hard to even tell where it all comes from, but it's here in California we just call it fusion.
Right.
When you mix this or that, it's fusion. But it's what the great thing about it is it's not like super fancy cuts of this or that. It's peasant food in a sense. You don't have to be rich to eat well.
Right. Yeah. So you were saying that you love to cook. What is one of the dishes that you make? It's like your go-to. Maybe like, I don't know, someone's coming over. Not that you really want to impress them, but it's just a good meal that's fun to make and tastes delicious.
From a restaurant I worked at up in San Francisco, sort of swiped the dish off of their menu that was always a good date night meal. Halibut paillard. You just take a fillet of halibut, you try to mash it all flat onto a plate. You sprinkle some fresh cut ginger, some cilantro, some scallion onions on top of that, and you just flash fry it, stick it on the plate for about 5 minutes. Drizzle that with a little mixture of sesame oil and soy sauce that you heat up on the oven to get it nice and sizzly. And be careful because the plate's hot, but eat it straight off that plate. Super easy, super tasty. But I haven't done that one in a while. My wife is vegetarian. So that was an old classic. Last night I made what did I make? I made a romesco, basically just some almonds, some baby red peppers, garlic, throw that all into a pot, let it cook for a while, blend it, and I poured that on top of some creamy polenta that I added a little bit of Parmesan cheese into, and that was that. So on the side I took some brown butter and sauteed up some asparagus and chickpeas. That was our meal last night.
Oh, sounds
vegetarian. She's actually she used to be vegan, but now we can use butter. So. Butter and cheese is incorporated into her diet since we've married.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I've always said I can't. The one thing keeping me from being vegan is cheese. It's too good.
dairy. Yeah, dairy in general. Well, what happened is she actually, after a trip with her talk with her doctor, he said to maybe incorporate eggs, just like the egg whites, the protein is such a good protein.
Right.
And so she started trying to eat eggs, and that was the gateway drug that got her onto dairy.
All right. Well, good. Well, I'll give you a little tip. I was doing a vegan thing one night a week. I wanted to just cook vegan. The only night. It was only for dinner. And the one thing I did was I would, instead of ground meat, and I didn't want to buy any of that fancy vegan stuff they sell in the stores, I would use beans and just mash the beans up. So I made lasagna where I used my mom's meatball recipe, but instead of ground meat, I used mashed up beans. I put all the other spices in there, and it tasted just like meatballs. I mean, it was...
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
The meatball shop that I was running for a while, our vegan ball was basically made... It was butternut squash and chickpeas was the main base.
yeah.
And people love that.
Yeah, as long as you get the seasoning right, no one's the wiser.
Well, the texture, I mean, you're never going to get that chewy, stringy meat texture.
No.
You know, but you know, it's like I said, the flavor matters, not the texture.
All right, Mark, is there anything, you said that do you know the name of the restaurant you're going to be working at there in San Diego?
Yeah, it's going to be called the Crack Shack.
Nice.
It's basically, like I said, Chef Richard buys sort of, you know, he's got a really fancy place that's right next door to it. This is going to be like slightly scaled down, not as rich, more acceptable, I guess, to the common folk like me. But the same bar program, which is what I'm looking forward to getting into. And yeah, just chicken and eggs all day, basically, is their motto. So as a guy's a pretty creative chef, I look forward to seeing what the menu looks like.
So when you're in San Diego, check out the Crack Shack. Just say hi to Mark. He'll be behind the bar. More than likely. All right, Mark, we were talking before. You said you've been really listening to the new Toy Guitar album a lot. And
Love that album.
so we are going to play a little Toy Guitar. Take us out of here. This is Human Hyenas. You are listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio. Thanks, Mark. Steve, Brian, Skate Rat. I'd like to thank Mark DeSalvo for calling in, chatting with us. I'd like to thank people here at the Vicious Pig Saloon. Whenever in downtown Mattersville, stop by, get a drink. Maybe you'll be here a day we have a show. Maybe you'll be here and somebody will show up like Joey Cape did and grab the acoustic and start playing. You're on the Facebook. Check out Betty Gear. Hey, if you need any graphic design work or video editing, hit up Burning Rose Studios. And when you're on Facebook, check out Punk Rock Foodies, the original 2013, 4,100 members and growing. Very simple premise: make food, post a picture. Phone aped it, everyone.
I got my slave, I got my liver set, can barely breathe, but I have time for you, can't see the sand, up on your insides, and gonna spell, beneath the sun rays, I got my emerald, I got my emerald, I got my emerald, I got my blood gold.
There was no I in team.
There's
Sorry.
an M and an E.
And all that leaves is TNA.